I don't know what happened to my live. Not on my end. It's not my internet connection. It was YouTube. So I just jumped back on live, guys, because there were some great people asking some great questions in the chat. And my live just got cut off. For what reason? I don't know. So started back up. What I'll try to do for the replay is edit the two together so that it's one show you can watch. But we got cut off, didn't we? Sure did. So I just came back on live real quick, see if anybody figures it out and jumps back on while we continue the workout. But the reason I jumped back on is because we had some great questions coming around in the chat from everyone. So see if anybody hops back on, gets notified, and we can continue the conversation. But again, we were just talking about the three things that could happen with the mortgage. They pay you as agreed, they pay you off earlier, they don't pay you. And if you buy these assets correctly, any of those three scenarios that the borrower wants to choose to do work out fair for the note investor. So, excuse me. So, wild, huh? YouTube just decided to cut me off today. All right, guys. So we're going to continue this workout. Hopefully the people jump back on. But trying to build up some chest, guys. I really do want to see some more form in my chest this year. I'd like to see some more definition and things like that. So we're going to do two chest days per week. One in the beginning of the week, one at the end of the week, giving my chest and my shoulders a chance to recover. And in between, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're going to be do legs and abs, and then we're going to be doing biceps, shoulders, traps, and all that good stuff throughout the week. If you want to work out with me, guys, I'd love to have you here, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time to 8 a.m. Pacific time, so that you can help motivate me and I can help motivate you to get in better shape. So if you're new to it and you want to start exercising, I can be a support system for you. And if you're already a bodybuilder and you just want somebody to consistently be with you every morning, maybe to ask financial questions too, maybe you're just driving, have me in the earpiece or something like that. It's up to you, but it's about consistency, whether it's going to be health or wealth. So I came back on live because YouTube decided to boot me. Right in the middle of my live, we had great people in the comments, in the chat, asking great questions, and it was fantastic. And YouTube said, "Not today, buddy. Not today," and just cut me off just like that. So I thought I had all these technical difficulties handled. You guys, trust me. I went and bought a new internet system and got new wireless and did all this stuff and wired up the garage. And I thought this is going to be great. I'm not going to have problems. Here I am right in the middle of a live, and YouTube shut it down. It wasn't my internet problems or my connection. YouTube just said, "No, I don't think so. Not today. You cannot do this today." And it was some great questions in the live. We were going back and forth. How did you unlock the bicep vein, Unc? That is just years of punishment and athletics and stuff like that. But I bet you anything. Jared Watkins, how old are you, my man? What's your age? How old are you? Calling me Unc, so you must be a young buck. 22? That ain't too young, man. You want to unlock a bicep vein? I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to do it for sure. In fact, what we'll do is if you want to subscribe to the channel and like click the notification bell, you can come on, Jared, with me. But if you want to do it with me, we'll do it together, brother. On Tuesday is, well, let's see. Yeah, I think on Tuesday, what I'm going to be doing on Tuesday is all the pulling exercises, which is going to work a lot of different muscles, but majorly biceps. So maybe on Tuesday, come join me if you're available. And on Tuesday, what we'll do is we'll rock out lat pull downs, seated rows, upright rows, and two different types of curls. And we'll do that together. So if you want to join me, come on Tuesday of next week, because Monday is going to be another chest day. I'm going to do early week chest day, late week chest day. I'm trying to build my chest this year. I'm kind of unhappy with my pecs, and there's no definition like in the center and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to work on my chest this year and improve that. So I'm going to be doing like Monday chest and Friday chest. That's why today we're doing chest and triceps and stuff. But on Tuesday next week, come on, and we're going to crush some upper body workouts, all pulling towards us, right? And you guys know what I mean by that. Pulling thing towards you is going to work your biceps. Pulling thing towards you is going to work your backs. Pulling thing up towards you is going to work your traps. Everything pulling towards you, right, is working those muscle groups. Yeah, so on Tuesday we should crush it. And we will pop that vein out, and we'll get our biceps burnt on Tuesday. The reason I like to do those biceps and stuff on Tuesday is when I do those exercises, it does have an effect on my golf swing. When your biceps get really tight and you can't extend your arms well and stuff like that, golf becomes a little tough. And I play a competitive golf round every Saturday morning with the same kind of group of guys, and we play for money. And I don't like going and getting my butt kicked and losing my money on Saturday morning. So I like to get the biceps and all those exercises done because it does work your forearms too, guys. Your forearms, your grip strength and stuff gets affected with those exercises. And so on Tuesday, let's crush it. Tuesday, we can get these veins on our biceps just popping right out. It'll be good. Bethany said, I'll come work out with you here soon too. This is really cool, you guys, is that, yes, I have a financial background. So it's physical fitness and financial fitness, right, is what the show is called here in life. Really, it's me working out in my garage, and I want to motivate other people to do that. So that really touches my heart. If people are starting to say, hey, man, you're motivating me, I want to work out with you, this, that, and the other, because I'm not a bodybuilder, guys. Of course, you can tell. I'm not a fitness influencer by any means. I'm not selling protein powders or creatines, okay? I'm just doing this for me, dude. I'm 46. I got 2 kids. I have had so many injuries in sports and things like that have been debilitating, and I've had to work through. And I had bad habits. I was sleeping poorly. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, guys. I was a semi-alcoholic functioning, right? But I was a binge drinker, loved drinking alcohol. Bad sleep habits, not working out. My muscles were dwindling. Trust me, the vein here, gone. The any type of size in arm muscle, gone. I wasn't filling out t-shirts in the bicep area, trust me. And at the same time, I was trying to buy shirts that were flattering to my big ass beer belly. Anybody relate? Anybody relate? I was buying shirts purposely that were to hide my beer belly and make me look less fat and disgusting. So anyway, if I'm motivating you to get your body moving, if I'm motivating you to work out and you want somebody to work out with and you want somebody that's going to show up for you consistent, that's what I'm trying to do. At the same time, I run an investment fund. I've been a full-time investor since 2018. And so I like when people have questions about how to not only build their health and build their physicalities, but how to build up your pocketbook as well. BMW or a Nissan? If I were to choose between a BMW or a Nissan, of course I would choose BMW. Better made vehicle. Even though Nissans are good, dude. You know, it's funny. One of my cars that I thought that was really cool was a Hyundai Sonata 4-cylinder. Check that out. This behind me is a CLS 550. That's a Mercedes-Benz. That's a Mercedes-Benz CLS 550 behind me in the garage. But it's so funny and ironic that one of my favorite cars, honestly, was a Hyundai Sonata. It got super sick gas mileage. It was pretty fast and light. It had huge trunk space. It fit. It had, all the gadgets, leather, heated seats. It was awesome. How tall are you? I'm shorty. I'm 5'7". I'm shorty. I'm 5'7". Oh, you know what? I'm getting some good questions in here too. Bitcoin. Yeah, guys, it's crazy. This is the everything crash. Oh, this is the everything crash. Stock market crash. Cryptocurrency crash. Bitcoin. Everything's just getting so smashed. It's so wild. Oh, man. But yeah, the Mercedes is an older car behind me. It's just my zip around town car. Outside the garage door, we got the big old Suburban for the family, right? I never thought I'd grow up to be an old family guy with a Suburban. At least I didn't get a minivan. Yeah, it is really cool though. A birthday shout out to nobody. Because guess what? It ain't your birthday. You ain't gonna party. So, questions about fitness or finance. And we were talking about before, we had somebody that was asking great questions, guys, about the mortgage note industry. And the facts are that the banks don't own rental properties, but yet a whole bunch of us do. Why? You ever ask yourself that? So I just start with these weird questions, right? To be open-minded, to say, if banks don't own rental properties, how the hell do they make money? Well, several different ways, obviously. But as I was saying, we're going to be popping out those bicep veins on Tuesday. Good morning. If it's good morning, you know that it's good morning over here on the West Coast. Some people are on the East Coast, and I even had people on here from India. So, super cool. I don't know if it's morning for you, but it is good morning for me. And it's always a good morning, you guys, when you can kind of stick to your disciplines. It's always a good morning when you've made progress before the day starts. It's always a good morning when you've got your body moving, your blood flowing, and you've got things moving in the mornings. It's always a good morning. Let me remind you of that. Let's see here. East Coast, New Jersey. I know some folks in New Jersey who are actually note investors, just like me. Popular note investor out there. My buddy Dave, he's in New Jersey. I have some students out there in New Jersey. You know what's interesting? Speaking of New Jersey, I don't buy notes out there. That's an interesting thing. I don't buy notes in New Jersey because they're really highly judicial. Highly judicial meaning that it's very difficult for the lender to go through the foreclosure and eviction process. That's one of the things that we do as a caveat to note investing is that debt collection and owning mortgage debt attached to or collateralized by a physical single-family home. There's rules to it. There's rules to it. And each state has kind of different rules, lender versus borrower. And so like New Jersey, it's very expensive and takes very long. It's a tedious process to foreclose. Same with New York for sure. Prime, you're in Chicago, Illinois. Nice. One more question. BMW 535i or 2025 Nissan Altima. I had a Nissan Altima and it was a good car too, bro. I heard the 5 Series because I've never had a BMW, by the way, but I've heard the 5 Series BMWs are maintenance hassles. My buddy had one and said it was like a lemon. So I don't know. Maybe in that case, if you have a lemon and it's expensive and it's a liability big time, maybe the Ultima. I don't know. But you know, one thing I'm not a show-off car guy, right? I could have a fancy car right now. I've got my old Mercedes-Benz back here and the Suburban for the family out front. Have the financial means to get a real sweet car, a red Corvette or something, but I just don't. My Benz is 2008, but looks brand new. It's just always garaged. I got it from an elderly owner and it was always garaged. And so looks very new, drives like new, but it's a 2008. Can you believe that? Only has 100,000 miles on it. But I always liked that. I always liked that style. I always liked this style when the wheel wells were still sleek. It kind of looks more like a Bullet, if you guys know what I'm talking about. And then they started to take these new 550s and they like started to bubble out the wheel wells and put it all rounded and bubbly. And I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. Yeah, I mean, the auto mechanic that owns the European auto place where I go and get her tuned up and oil changed and stuff like that, the auto mechanic keeps on bugging me. When are you going to sell that? When are you going to sell that? So the auto mechanic that owns the auto parts place that repairs my car wants to buy it. Pretty funny. It's a Mercedes CLS 550. Who you support in the World Cup this year? God, dude, you know what, man? I've been so busy raising capital, so busy doing business. Like as soon as I get done with this workout, my day starts and I go till like 6 p.m. I haven't even followed sports, man. Who's playing in the World Cup this year? I did go to the World Cup game in San Diego at what was Jack Murphy Stadium back then, then Qualcomm Stadium and that. But I went to United States versus Peru, I think it was. But I went to United States versus Peru and I got to see a live World Cup game. It was pretty cool. You're New Zealand. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. I'll tell you an interesting story real quick about New Zealand, but we got to hit this other set of dumbbell benches while we're doing it. So don't mind if I'm not looking at the camera because I want to talk to you about New Zealand for a minute. But it was so funny. I used to be a sales manager, and I used to train salespeople how to sell high ticket home remodeling. So I was like a solar sales, roofing sales kind of a sales coach. And I remember I had these two young men that were like super handsome young guys, and I was teaching them sales. They were brothers. You know, they had everything going for them, right? And they were like 21 or 22 years old. I was teaching them sales. They were making really good money in that. And all of a sudden, and they were like really starting to be really good salespeople. And I liked these kids, and they were great. And they came into my office one day and they said, "Hey, boss." And I said, "What's up, guys?" And they said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, we're turning in our gear and everything. We appreciate the opportunity, but we're quitting." And I looked at them and I said, "You guys are finally starting to make great money. You're a super good addition to the team. And I don't want to see you guys go. What's wrong? Why are you guys leaving?" I thought there could have been something wrong. And these two brothers looked at me and they said, "We're going to New Zealand to be sports entrepreneurs." I was like, "What?" So that was pretty cool. These young bucks, they came in and they said, "We're packing up all of our stuff. We're going to New Zealand and we're going to be in the extreme sports world." And they were going to go do some entrepreneurial endeavor with extreme sports. Apparently extreme sports are pretty popular in New Zealand. Is that right? What do you think? That's funny. Leaf says the guy looks mad tough. I don't even agree with you on that one. I don't think I look mad tough. I think I look nice too. These are called power blocks. So power blocks are pretty cool dumbbells. Easy to work with. So anyways, yeah, New Zealand. I've always wanted to go there. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful nature. I suppose that's why they do a lot of extreme sports out there. I suppose. But New Zealand, how fun. You're in Tasmania? No way. That's wild. That's just entertains me. Guys, it's so crazy that this technology we have these days that I can get my cell phone out and there's people from Canada and there's people from all over the world on here and we get to have a chat, do a workout together. It's pretty wild. I love it. Super cool. How are you today? I am fantastic. Evan Withrow. How are you today? We're getting a little workout. We got people from New Zealand, Tasmania, Canada. What a just a beautiful thing. It was so wild, you guys. I was on my live and we were doing great and I was working out and we had some really cool questions coming in. All of a sudden my live was like, boop. My live, like YouTube just shut it down. It was just went blank. Everybody's like, "Hey, you froze. And I couldn't get it back to working. So I just came live again. But we have a new audience of people. And this is kind of a finish up to a live that we were already on. But good questions. I'm glad people come in here from all over the world. It's such a great thing to be able to talk and converse with people. And again, if you guys are new to this and you're just hearing me blab, I do this 5 days a week, 6:30 to 8 a.m. in my garage. I do it in order to motivate others to get out of bed and get working out and get in your best shape of your life, whether you're 22, 42, 46 like me, 75 years old. If I can motivate somebody to try to get in the best shape of their lives at this moment with what you're working with, that's what I am here to do. And what happens is, if I have to promise you guys that I'm going to be here in the mornings, and you guys are relying upon me to be here in the mornings to help you with financial knowledge, investment stuff, but just to be reliable, then guess what? I can't sleep in when I want to. I have to get to working out and put this video on because people be calling me out, "Man, where were you yesterday?" So we help motivate each other. That's what this is for, to stay in the best shape of our lives. But I figured because I have some knowledge on investing, I've been a full-time investor since 2018. I run an investment fund right now. We're building apartments in Palm Bay, Florida, not Palm Beach, Palm Bay. And we specialize in buying discounted mortgage notes on the secondary mortgage market. And so Figure not just motivating to get in shape and work out, which is the main thing here, to help each other, but also too, some of you guys may have some questions about financial freedom, some questions about how to generate some cash flow in your life that you don't have to work for. Passive cash flow is the drug. Passive cash flow is the drug. We did an exercise on one of these a couple weeks ago, and I said, no, not Bombay, palm, like a palm tree, Palm Bay, not Bombay, Palm Bay. Arthur, what's up, dude? My other live just went whack. I'm sorry. I don't know. YouTube just shut it off and said, not today, my friend. And then I started this new one, and here we are. But that's always a good question I have for people. So those of you who are on, I think there's like 10 people on right now. For those of you who are on, who can touch your keyboard, right? Let's be honest, no trip, not to go buy a Bentley, not to go live in a mansion, not to, buy a horse and a pony, and not this, guys. What I'm trying to say though is this. Here's the question. How much money, income, how much cash flow do you need per month right now to cover your bills, where your bills are at? Okay. And honestly, is it $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month? How much money do you need coming in each month right now to sustain your current lifestyle? Not elevating, not going and buying a Bentley and all this stuff. But most of us work 40, 50 hours a week. Most of us work 40 and 50 hours a week to create enough money to pay our bills, and we kind of get by, right? So how much do we need? 4K. All right. So we got Pro. I'll just call you Pro, but we got Pro in there, right? Pro in there is 4K. I don't make fun of Indian people, buddy. All my friends are Indian. My best friend Core is Indian. Special place for Indians in my heart. I love them, but I also love their accent. 4K, 10K. I love it. Okay. $80 US. That's all you need. $80. Okay. So guys, let's just start out with this, right? 4K and 10K. Okay. So just think about this, okay? Think about this. What if the average cash flow on a mortgage note purchase, even if you didn't use your own money, if you leveraged other people's money, you bought a mortgage note for an investment, people tend to pay their mortgage payments. So it's not a lot of management like a rental. You have the mortgage in your portfolio and you're starting to collect someone's mortgage payment every month. So think of this. Let's just say you had $250. I don't have my calculator right now. Someone, since I am going to do another set while I'm talking to you, someone do the calculations here. Break out your calculator on your phone and do these calculations so that we can make something make sense here. There's so many people trying to get financial freedom so many different ways, and a lot of it is gobbledygook. But I'll tell you the reality of it is banks make good money because they sit there passively and collect people's mortgage payments and don't have to deal with the bullshit involved in being landlord, okay? So let's start with the $4,000 a month income, okay? Let's just start here, $4,000 a month income. So I'm gonna put something in perspective for you guys. Let's say that the average passive cash flow that you start receiving, if you're a note investor, and you may be saying, well, I don't have a lot of money. How do I be a note investor? You can earn the skills and the expertise that holds power if you know how to do this stuff. And you can be the deal maker and know how to do these deals, how to do the due diligence and acquire them and that has a lot of value. Then you can go and borrow money from private lenders in order to fund your business. So I'm just saying, guys, what if for each note you bought, your passive income was $250 per month per asset? So let's say each time you bought one of these notes, which is just paperwork, by the way, just paperwork. We don't, it's not buying houses. I don't have to work with realtors and this kind of stuff. It's transfer paperwork. Things get notarized and recorded. So imagine if you got $250. So someone do the math, $250 every time you do a note deal. Every time you do one note deal, which is paperwork, you do one transaction, you get $250 per month now coming in passively. So at the $4,000 per month marker that someone said, apologize, I have to go back to find out who said that. But Pro said 4K a month, right? So what is $4,000 divided by 250? I know I can do that math in my head, but I want you guys to tell me. $16. So Pro, that means that in my business, in the note investing business, you'd have to buy 16 assets. So you have to, is it 7? 16. So you do 16. Yeah, I think it's 16. But you would have to go through 16 transactions. And when you would do 16 transactions, you'd be making now $4,000 a month passively without doing any more transactions, without doing any more work, because you put those notes in the portfolio and people tend to pay their mortgage payments every month. So if you're getting about $250 passively per asset that you buy, even with OPM, you're setting yourself financially free there. And you guys can start doing the math. If it's about $250 per month of passive cash flow that you would get, even utilizing other people's money, because you got to pay your private lenders their return as well and make them happy. But $250. Then take $10,000 per month if you need $10,000 per month income and divide 10,000 by 250. How many transactions would you have to do? Is it 50? Is it 50? Is it 40? But that's the bottom line is this. So in thinking in terms of what if you were a part-time person, you worked your full-time job, you didn't change much, you didn't change anything. Yeah, it's 40. So 40 deals, 40 transactions to complete financial freedom and retirement for somebody who needs 10 grand a month to pay the bills. So that's why we got into this and we started to love it. Yep. So that's why it's awesome. That's why it's awesome. So there's not much else in life that I've heard of where you only do, 15, 20 deals, 30 deals, 40 deals. So if you needed the 10 grand a month, what if you did 2 deals per month? If you just did 2 deals per month, that's 24 deals in a year. So if you stuck on acquiring 2 deals per month for 2 years straight, you'd have financial freedom in 2 years' time. There's not a lot of other places where I had seen that. That's why I got so jazzed and I was like, wait a minute. I thought it was too good to be true at first, by the way. Right? Where's my coffee? I'm going to get my coffee. This note investing stuff. When I first heard about note investing, first of all, I didn't know what the hell it was. Secondly, the mentor who taught me, I told him, hold on, dude, this is too good to be true. There's got to be some sort of there's a scam to it or something. What are you talking about? First of all, you can own someone's mortgage? That was super weird to me. Secondly, it was weird to me that you buy people's mortgage debt at a discount. That was a trip. And then, so anyways, I'll get off my soapbox here. But I was like, yo, this is too good to be true. When I found out it was not too good to be true and banks and institutions had been doing it forever, but I know that we can do it too, I was like, all right, sign me up. So it's the only thing I saw that was like a true, clear path to financial freedom without a lot of speed bumps in the way. But you can definitely learn it, guys. So you can buy books. There was a great book written years ago called Invest in Debt, written by a guy named Jimmy Napier, who's passed on now. But Jimmy Napier wrote a book called Invest in Debt. What a great book to read. If you read the book Invest in Debt, that would be a great place to start so you'd understand investing in debt. You're gonna buy my mortgage and evict me? Only if I stopped paying, which would be your legal right to do if you owned my mortgage. There ain't no doubt about it. What are the trophies? You saw all those up there? That's interesting that you saw those. That's pretty observant, man. By the way, Prime, that's pretty damn observant. My father was a competitive bodybuilder back in like the 60s when nobody even thought bodybuilding was cool and 24-hour fitness didn't exist. Some of those trophies up there are my father's keepsakes that I've kept. And then others are from, my BMX bike riding days, my springboard riding days. Did my feed freeze again? No. Okay. But yeah, we've got up there BMX, martial arts, springboard diving, some other stuff that were my trophies, but some of those are my father's trophies from back in the day as well. Let's see here. And I'm sorry if I skipped a question. Let me just see. Oh, maybe I didn't. If I did, re-ask it. But guys, back onto the box. I had never seen anything that was a more clear path to financial freedom. So I got into it, and I got into it really full time. I said, you know what? Let me just shoot for the stars, because financial freedom is always something that I've wanted. I know it's something that everybody wants. It just seems very difficult to attain. And when you're competing in the wholesaling and the Pace Morby Gator lending groups and this and that and the other, and you've got everybody else, their uncle and their mother, competing with you in the same space, it's not attractive to me. But you know that you guys hearing this, most people don't even know that you can own someone's mortgage. Most people don't even know that mortgage note investing exists, let alone super popularized with all the gurus on the social medias, right? Fire. How much do I bench? Phew, dude, I had a labrum tear about a year and a half ago. My shoulder got torn apart. And I'm 46 years old, so I'm not really doing anything for personal bests or ego anymore, because I don't like to be injured. And as you get older, it's easier to be injured. So I don't do max bench press anymore. At the height of my strength, when I was winning competitions back in the old days, used to do powerlifting competitions, but back when I was fit and young, I weighed 125 pounds. And when I weighed 125, I bench pressed 255 pounds. That was at my strongest. I weighed 125 and benched 255. Right now, I mean, I could probably put up 200 pounds or something like that, but I wouldn't even want to try any more than that these days. I like my shoulders, and I like my health, and I like my golf. So again, fitness or finance questions only, guys. That would be cool. But, I'm here to help you guys improve your financial knowledge, maybe even just your financial mindset, maybe learn something different about money, maybe motivate you to do something different with your money. So I'm here, motivate you to work out, motivate you to get you in your best shape ever, whether you're 22 years old, 32, 42, 72. If you want somebody to help you and be here for you daily to motivate you to get in your best shape ever, I'd love to be able to do that for you, because you guys motivate me. You understand? If I have to come down and get on this live daily and I don't show up, people are going to say, where were you yesterday, man? We were counting on you. So it's just motivation for us to show up and continue getting in good shape daily. But also the financial talks are pretty awesome. I do buy crypto, speaking of which. Don't talk to me about the markets right now. It'll just bleed right back into why I like mortgage note investing so much, because the markets are getting slammed right now, including my portfolio. How do you get rich? Education, skills, knowledge, better yourself, change, become better, get more skills, offer more value to the planet, help more people. You'll get more rich then. Yeah. Help more people. All right. So back to one set. But guys, when you're looking at the volatility of these markets, we have no control, right? We have no control over the markets. Do you know when the markets are going to crash, go up, go down, be manipulated like by BlackRock and this, that, and the other? No, none of us do. Not even the guys with the fancy YouTube channels and millions of followers that are actually educated. They don't know either. They're making guesses. It's all speculation. In that case, it's very dangerous. It's more like gambling to me. So I do have crypto. But it's not where I like to put all my eggs in that basket. But I do. Here, let me tell you this about the crypto. Want to know how I stacked my crypto portfolio so it makes me less nervous when crashes like this are happening right now? I stacked my cryptocurrency portfolio by utilizing the cash flow that comes from my note investments. If you understand what I'm saying, this is like gambling with house money. Now, gambling with house money is a little bit different. So if you go to the casino, you bring $1,000 with you. You go to the casino and you start gambling, and all of a sudden you start winning. And maybe you turn the 1,000 into 2,000. You've doubled that money in an hour. Okay. If you take your original 1,000 and put it away, and you're only now gambling the rest of the time at the casino with the casino's money, they call it house money, right? Because it's not really your money. So now you can gamble and have fun. And if you lose it, you didn't really lose anything. And that's called gambling with house money. Well, instead of taking my hard-earned money and going and buying speculative and risky assets like the cryptocurrency markets, instead of doing that, I took my money and buy a mortgage note. So What happens is a mortgage note that I own, where my principal of my invested capital is secured, it's backed by collateral. Now it's spitting me monthly cash flow from that asset I own. The monthly cash flow that's coming each month, if you don't need that monthly cash flow to live off of, if you're making money other ways and you're still working, you're still making income, if there's being passive cash flow that comes from a note, each month when I collect that passive cash flow, I can take that passive cash flow from asset number one and I can take it every month and DCA into my crypto portfolio, if that makes sense. So you can build a big crypto portfolio, which is now in my mind house money. It was capital that was utilized from asset number one that I own, and it was cash flow that was coming from asset number one that I was dumping over and dollar cost averaging monthly into crypto. So there you go. Yes, pro crypto's on sale, man. Yep. I don't give investment advice. I can only tell people what I'm doing. But if I could borrow, if I could get a private lender for 50,000, 100,000 right now, I think it'd be a good time to make a move and put that kind of thing into the market. But put your dollars behind the billion, put your pennies behind the billionaires' dollars, guys. We can put our pennies right behind the billionaires' dollars, guys. So what are the billionaires doing? What are the billionaires doing? What are the billionaires' financial systems? Let's copy them. I bet we'll have pretty good success with our pennies, right? This is too light. We need to pump the weight up on these guys. But, you know, today was great, guys. My first live got cut off. That's why we ran kind of long today. And I had to start this next live, which was weird. I will hopefully splice them in editing for the replay, but YouTube decided to cut me off today during my live, and it was going well. So this was the second restart. And if you're just coming on or you don't know about the channel, guys, mostly my channel is about financial investments, things that I specialize in. Mortgage notes instead of rental properties. Buy the paper, not the property. Don't have to deal with the hassles of being a landlord. So we specialize in note investing. We run a note fund. I have an investment fund I run with my partners. And so a lot of this is just financial. But what I started to do is wanted to come on to motivate people to get not only in good financial shape, but also in good physical shape. If you're male, if you're female, if you're younger, if you're older, we can all start where we're starting from and try to get in the best shape we can. Because health is wealth. And if you have energy and you have vigor and you're in good shape, you're ready to take on challenges and you're ready to handle a day and get things accomplished and be a good decision maker. But when we're slow and when we're sluggish and when we're tired and unmotivated, it's very difficult to offer value to the world. What advice do you have for a 250-pound person that's addicted to wine and wants to lose weight? Well, I don't mean to laugh at that, but I'm just talking about the addicted to wine part kind of got me. It comes, well, guys, look, can we be fair? It comes from the mind first. So somebody has to want to make change. Somebody has to want to get better, and you have to want it more than you want the luxury or the convenience of the habits that you've already been stuck with. That's the bottom line. It happens mentally first. But then physically, once you've made the mental connection of I'm going to make a change, then obviously cutting down alcohol is big. Dieting and maintaining a certain amount of caloric intake per day is huge. And like I'm trying to get people to do with me here Monday through Friday is about an hour, hour and a half of exercise and getting your muscles going and getting your blood flowing is super important. But the combination of your caloric intake, managing what you eat, protein, fats, carbs, sugars, that's all very important. What you're intaking is the fuel, and that's what produces the fire. So eating good, calorie deficit. Yeah, Bethany's saying low carbs, not a lot of sugars and that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of thing. I got off the alcohol, guys. Trust me, it's very difficult. I was drinking alcohol for 25 years straight like a champion. Okay. Love it. Love beer, love getting a buzz and all that good stuff. I put it away though, guys. It didn't make me a better person. It didn't make me healthier. It certainly didn't help me lose weight and be more cut up or look better, with my shirt off, none of that. So I got rid of the alcohol. completely. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying you should, but I'm not saying you need to get rid of it entirely. I understand most people will not quit drinking entirely, but if you can cut it to a minimum, dude, drinking to a minimum, good diet, less calories, less sugar, less junk, work out 5 days a week. And if you did that, if you changed your diet and managed your calories, I mean, just if anybody changed their diet, eat cleaner foods, got rid of the sugars and processed stuff, drank clean water, managed their calorie intake per day, and worked out 5 days a week for an hour. If anybody did that for 90 days straight, trust me, you would start to see some insane change. You would start to be impressed with your energy level, how you look, the weight loss, everything would start to change. Everybody wants success quickly, though. Like when you start working out, people are like, well, I've been working out for a whole week, man. How come I'm not like losing weight yet in that? Your body has to have a chance to catch up with the consistent effort over time. So that consistency, diet, exercise, consistency, you'll see mad change. It took about 6 months when I first started doing this, 6 months or so. Then people started to notice. Other people started to notice. Dan Patrick, what have you been doing? Man, you look like you're losing weight. Oh, geez, you're looking buffer and all that. 6 months of 5 days a week for other people to start noticing. After about 3 months, after about 90 days, you'll notice, though. You'll notice, okay? What's my fund? My fund is Everly May Capital Group. EverlyMay.com. EverlyMae. So people that would invest into a fund would be passive, right? So at Node Investor University, I teach people how to do what I do. So at Node Investor University, I teach people how to buy mortgage notes themselves, right? Kind of like somebody would teach you how to be a house flipper, but I just don't flip houses. So I teach people how to buy mortgage notes, how to broker mortgage notes, how to flip mortgage notes, how to own mortgage notes, how to raise OPM and buy mortgage notes to build a portfolio for financial freedom. All of that is what we teach if somebody wants to do it all. But most people don't want to do all that. Most people are path of least resistance and such. So if people just have money to invest, but they understand the value of what it is we do, then we run an investment fund, Everly May Capital Group. So it's for passive people. Somebody just wants to invest money. Somebody wants to invest money. They don't want to do none of this stuff. They don't want to become an expert. They rely upon our management team and our expertise. And what we do is we help them grow their funds. So that's what an investment fund is, right? People invest money into our fund. We have control of the capital. Our team deploys the capital, makes a return, and all of us get to win in the fact of that fund. Let's see. You want to learn, you want to invest. Are you saying that you'd want to be an operator? Like you'd want to learn how to be a note investor and do this and raise money from other people and all that? Yeah, noteinvestoruniversity.com. It's in the link. Also, I think my calendar link, guys, is below in the description of these lives. Maybe not of this one, but if you go back into a previous live, the description in there, like the live from yesterday or the one from this morning that got cut off, it's in my calendar link is in there too. If you just want to get on my calendar and say what's up, I can help answer any questions you have. But we do have Node Investor University, which is our school. We meet every Thursday. We have a Node Investor University mastermind call every Thursday from 10 a.m. Pacific to 11:30 Pacific. We bring all the students on. There's live Q&A and that. But it's a pretty extensive coaching program about node investing. So we teach you everything you need to know. That's there. And then I have my, calendar link if you just want to chat and ask me more questions about that. Yeah, Rodney, there are fractional investments. In fact, I wouldn't want to get into this now because it's going to take a long time to explain, but yeah, you know that you can buy a partial in the note space, which kind of sounds interesting, doesn't it? But you can buy a partial. It means you can buy a portion of someone's mortgage. You don't have to buy the whole thing. You can buy a certain amount of the monthly payments. So yeah, you don't have to have a lot of capital, guys. So one of the best things you can do if you want to build a lot of wealth is gain a skill that allows you to be valuable to people that do have a lot of money. Does that make sense? You guys gain a skill, knowledge, skill, expertise that brings value to you because not everybody's willing to put the time in to gain knowledge and expertise and gain a skill that not everybody has. That's tough. But dime a dozen people that have individual retirement accounts and 401k accounts and stuff like that have 50 or 100 grand in it. So you can go find a lot of people that have $50,000 to $100,000 to invest into something good. You can find a lot of those people, but you cannot find a lot of people that are really skilled and knowledgeable in a certain asset class. So use the skills, the knowledge, and the expertise, and the know-how, and the connections, and all that you build as your value. Your money that you have is not your value. Your value is the skills, the knowledge, the connections, the ability to be a deal maker in a certain niche category, like a house flipper, right? Somebody who can go and flip a house really well. It's a good skill. Flipping a house, not easy. Managing crews, managing materials, probably having a truck. You got to work your ass off. It's not easy to flip a house. So people that flip houses really, really well and have it all dialed and are very systematic about it can create a course to teach other people how to flip houses properly, right? Same. So we've just been buying notes full time for a really, really long time. And we have a $50 million fund and we buy notes consistently. And so, of course, for me to teach you how to buy a note and to leverage other people's money, not rely upon your own money. A house flipper who has those skills, do you think that the house flipper needs to use all of his or her own money to continue flipping those houses? What if a house flipper that has all those skills says, I want to scale my business up, dude. I'm flipping 2 houses per year right now. It's going well. I'm flipping 2 houses per year right now. But you know what? I want to flip 1 house per month. I want to try to knock out 10 or 12 flips this year. But I need access to more capital to get more homes under contract and to go and pay more crews and to go buy more materials and to get these jobs across the table. I need more money than I have at my own behest. But I have the skills, the knowledge, the crews, the trucks to be able to flip houses well. Well, don't you think that this is now a good partnership? Somebody who knows how to flip houses really well, has all that expertise and is willing to go and do all that, can then get private lenders who have money. Private lenders that rely on this individual's skill and elbow grease to get their return on investment. So it makes a good partnership, doesn't it? The house flipper can expand his house flipping business and grow. These investors can come in and rely upon his skills, expertise, and elbow grease to make their returns, and they're totally passive. They don't have to go flip a house and do all that crap. So you understand this is how raising capital works. So you could go and buy 1 mortgage note, but you say, I don't have 65 grand. I don't have 100 grand to buy a mortgage note. I wish I did. I'd buy one, but I don't have the money. Well, can I go get money from a private lender in order to buy the note? And can we both win in that situation? Because they'd be relying upon my skills and my expertise in the note space. Excuse me. And I'd be relying upon their finances. Makes a pretty good team, doesn't it? Somebody who has money but doesn't have any of the skills is up against it. Somebody who has all the skills but none of the money is up against it. If they come together, somebody with skills, expertise, and know-how and somebody with money can make a powerful team to go get something done, right? Cost $6.5 million to build a 32-unit apartment building in Palm Bay, Florida. Ask me how I know. If you or I was going to go and say, I'm going to build an apartment building in Florida, 32 units. I know I have the know-how, I have the connections, I have the people, I have the political pull, I have the crews, I have the skills and ability to get. Okay. Are we back? Did I freeze? Okay. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry, I had a pause there. Apologize. I think we're back now. But I lost track of time because my phone just stopped and I thought we were going to get cut off again. Oh my goodness gracious. But understand that, yes, I'm back. All right, cool. Thanks. But understand that that's how it works. Somebody has skills and expertise. Somebody has money. Now, here's the interesting part. If somebody has money, but they don't have the skills and expertise, can they go pull one of these deals off, whether it's a house flip or a note purchase or an apartment build or any of this crap? If somebody has the money, but they have no knowledge, no expertise, no connections, and they don't have none of that, even though they have the money, can they really go and get a project done? And the answer is no. Of course, if they have the money, they can pay experts, right? Of course. But I'm just saying, if somebody had the money, but no knowledge, no expertise, it's very difficult for them to do the deal. What about the opposite? What if the person who has the expertise, the knowledge, the connections, and all that good stuff, expertise, knowledge, connections, and all that, and they also have the money? Do they need anybody else? If somebody has the skills, the knowledge, the connections, the expertise, and the money, do they need anybody else? That answer is no. So the person with the skills actually is more important in a deal. The money is actually secondary. The money needs to be there to get the deal done, but the money is not the most important thing in the scenario. The skills and the expertise is. So, yep, that's why we do that. And guys, it was back to the point of the volatility of the markets. It's, when you get a mortgage note in your portfolio, it's a contract. Someone has contracted to pay you a certain amount of money every month on a certain day of the month. That's in a contract. The amount someone pays monthly on their mortgage payment doesn't change no matter what happens with the markets. You've made a contract to pay that amount per month on monies that you've borrowed. So how about a contractual return, stabilized, that is backed and collateralized by real estate, so you're protected. You got your principal protected, you got potential upside, and you got monthly cash flow. The monthly cash flow can be used for other things like DCAing into risky assets with higher return potentials like in crypto. So anyway, it's been a fun talk, guys. I went a little longer today, and I actually started talking and not working out much because we had these weird technical difficulties once again that just are so strange to me. I fixed the internet. I fixed all of our issues around here and thought we're golden. Today, YouTube decided to just say, no, no, no. You cannot do your live today. And they shut me down. So anyway, good talks though, and good stuff, guys. We're going to be back here on Monday. I wish you guys just to have a great weekend. Study some stuff. Go buy the book Invest in Debt by Jimmy Napier, one of the greatest books on note investing that was ever written. It's an old book, been around for a while, but it'll teach you everything you need to know about investing in debt like we do. And maybe you want to own the paper, not the property. Maybe you want to be passive and not have a bunch of headaches being a landlord. And maybe you want a niche category of real estate investing, which this is, in which you can build up skills and knowledge and expertise, maybe by like going to the Note Investor University at noteinvestoruniversity.com, where you can join like a mentorship program or read books like Invest in Debt, however you learn best. But if you learned how to do it and you got the skills, the connections, a community, you were in the game, right? And you can go out there and buy these notes up on the market. Then you can become pretty valuable to others that maybe have money to invest, but don't know how to do it. And you can build yourself financial freedom, guys, and you don't have to have a bunch of your own money to do it, a bunch of your own money to get started. You only have to have like enough money and resources to really gather all of the expertise you need and do that whichever way is easier for you. So I really appreciate, guys. Today was a great show. I'm so sad it got cut off and I had to splice it. And this is like the second live of the day and all that. I had to move and shake, but it's been awesome, guys. And so on Monday, let's all get back together. We're going to do some chest and some shoulders and we're going to do chest and shoulders and triceps. And we're actually going to do the workout on Monday. I'm going to try to get through it. But all the resources that I have to offer are down in the description. Maybe not of this video. I'll have to maybe edit and do that. But, we've got our investment fund. We've got Note Investor University where we teach you guys how to do it. My calendar link's down there if you have questions about stuff. But remember, join me Monday through Friday if you want motivation to work out, if you want motivation to get in your best shape ever, no matter what age you are, no matter what your body shape or composition, get in the best shape you can be in. I want to help you and you want to help me stay motivated and stay consistent Monday through Friday to get our bodies moving. So I'll be here 6:30 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. And also, too, that we can toss around some financial talks while we're getting in good shape. So health and wealth, it allows you to stay strong, stay sharp, stay free. And I'll see you guys here on the next video on Monday morning.